Oh, I think it's on. Hello, testing, testing the mic. Okay, I think this is, I think this is doing it. My voice isn't echoing like from the godly clouds above. So, yeah, another perspective. Let's see, testing, testing. I am testing to see if the chat is gonna show up on the right side or your left side of the screen. So I think this is it, but how do I save these settings? 'Cause I had to set them all up logging in. Is that strange? Testing to see if my voice was coming through on the wipes. Okay, I think that's good. So I have to do the headphone monitoring because if I have it coming out of laptop, I get echoes. So guess I gotta do this every time. I guess I should write that down. How is everybody? Hope you're well. Thanks for going through the growing pains with me. I still have to try to figure out how do I do a split screen with someone live. I don't know if I can do that. And I never look where the camera is. Where's the camera? The camera's there. So I have to practice going, hello, hello people, instead of looking at the monitoring screen with all the buttons and stuff. I have to look here. So I think I'm getting it. Just want to say thanks to David Triotica. He just sent me some messages saying I might want to check my audio levels, and so my audio levels are very low. Are my audio levels? We're not going to do one of those crazy audio channels. Maybe we should talk about that with someone. What do you think of those? What do you guys think of those channels where it's not quite a kosher just testing your audio? They're quite sensual sounds to get millions of views. People caressing their microphones. But I am just doing a regular test with this mic. So I only got it for $20. And it seems to be plug and play. I am testing the difference between doing live through Windows 10 versus doing a podcast where I record it on my phone. The picture clarity would be better, but then the streaming, I can't stream with a chat through YouTube, so I'm guessing then I have to do these two setups. I don't know what time it is right now. Let's see the time I can answer my messages in real time. So it's been brought to my attention that maybe I should hold some events and have some spaces for chatting. A little bit of a fluster right now because I'm thinking about going back to school for something which has to do with fashion, and I have an interview tomorrow at 10 a.m. and I'm kind of nervous in the sense that anytime I've gone to school, it's just high anxiety. So if I actually don't end up doing this thing and you don't see me, it's because I went to school, and it's just the worries of teachers and grades and being tested, all that soul stuff that I'm there for learning, but I've never had a great post-secondary experience. I don't know what it is about how I come across, whether that be chatty or maybe too inquisitive at a time, which translates into chattiness, that it's actually made me sad. It's like people don't get that I'm just trying to learn and receive the lesson, but in that I kind of need to ask questions. And in asking questions, it's like I get taken on as being challenging establishment with the faculty. So I'm thinking if I have my interview tomorrow and they say, yeah, you're in, then I'm going to be in school every day. Part of me thinks, is that a good use of my time? Could I learn it myself? Going to school to be it's like in a fashion fitting capacity where I help companies fit clothes onto people, as I do kind of do things with my clothes a lot, as you can see. But I'm looking at my resistance right now. I'm looking at the opportunity that if I do finish this program, I will get all these connections. But in that, I really wonder how solid those connections are. Am I just doing it to go through the motions, be accepted in society? Because in my last post-secondary experience, I did 2 years of animation. And that was supposed to be done. And then I had difficulty in my second year because my relationship at the time exploded and got pretty out of shape. And I was trying to finish school and everything was really busy. And then I went through this whole breakup. And I was fine with it. I was just trying to go to school. And then I got stalked every day. So maybe I'm making a podcast now, and I didn't know how to feel about that. Seem to offend people when I'm in a relationship and I say, kind of want to do something for myself, and it's like quite a contrast of me having a lot of time for my significant other, and then it goes to like, I have not that much time for you. doesn't mean I don't care about you. And so I go through these phases of getting ghosted and getting love bombed. And I don't know. I consider it as being, in retrospect now, a really unhealthy relationship where I'm naturally a neutral state. I think I'm pretty rational when it comes to needs and wants, and I'm able to make space for people. I need to be alone. I'm able to show up if people miss me, and I think a lot of the time put the blame on perfectionism. And so, well, that's all rolled up in my school experience. It's often been told to me, you should not be with somebody when you're in school. And maybe people were correct. And I have not had a positive experience in a relationship when it seems that I'm doing something for myself to better myself. It seems to become a comparison game, and who's making the more money and all that kind of stuff. So just here to let you know, I don't get it. Just like the rest of you. But I hope the wisdom being I'm learning, like, I think this is working right now. I'll see. Even doing this kind of thing, being super sharing vulnerability to let you know the person behind the guitar, maybe that's where great songs will come from. I'd like to say, actually, the song that I was testing and sharing in the intro is called Forgiveness and the Desert Song. And so I called it that because, even in the feeling I am now, I'm channeling the sadness of the end of relationships, and it makes sense for me to just sit at the guitar and say, what does my guitar say? And then this song came out, and I just called it Forgiveness. But then I usually play it in two parts, where, your forgiveness, even reaching that point, is an amazing, beautiful state of letting go and being with yourself, and, go to and from thoughts of someone that say they'd be there with you through thick and thin, and then they just go, they just leave. So what do words mean? So that's why in deeper meditation, it's really the vibration of it all. How do I feel? I don't even know if that is something you can communicate too readily, but I'm able to check in with people's vibration and know truth. And that creates quite a contrast of knowing. And it's a good thing because there's no bullshitting around. You check within your vibration, you can tell. So glad my friends I know currently have some sense of this. Whether you've gone to Vipassana or whether you've gone to deep meditation, it's, when all the words don't make sense, just check the vibration. So where was I going with this? To a super vulnerable state. and well, seems like I've been testing the microphone for 15 minutes, and yeah, just letting you know what's happening live. Last couple of days I've been very introspective. Only few people have been able to get through to me because I guard my meditation space with a lot of treating my time sacredly. Is that even something you can communicate? And as you can see, my voice is kind of in the lower spectrum as I've been doing a lot of clearing. And it was said to me, not a lot of people really want to do that. So even if you're talking about clearing, visiting the past, transforming the past so that you can be in a ready state of clarity in the now, that vibration itself is gonna freak people away, freak people out. So I was talking to a friend today, it's like, how do I be in this world in my truth without freaking people out? Creating so much contrast, and I just go to the root of things. Guess you can say the work is the work, right? Just because we're doing the work, creating time for a balanced headspace where perception is of a soul perception, doesn't mean people want to be there with you. So I completely understand the path of being alone, as much as I understand the path of being completely social and, surface. It's not even always surface level, but I can be very social and I can be very alone. And I've been wondering if that's what people find strange. I think, you have to work up to it. Certain friends, we do play to each other's niceties. We want people to feel comfortable, so we'll shift ourselves. And another thing that's come to mind is, seems that even in bringing up how a child would be in 24 hours, how many emotions would they go through? But we don't judge it as bizarre or strange, as that's just what a child is going through, and the emotions are new to them. So when adults go through that, they judge themselves for not being whatever the balanced adult state of motion is seemingly contrived in a society. Serious times. That's the thing with me. I don't know what's going to happen with this podcast. I can go into super serious times and, talk about how funny the Scrappy-Doo, Scooby-Doo relationship is. It's all welcome. It's all allowed. Even now, I'm kind of just wearing jogging pants and this tattered thing I made. I didn't really do my self-care things either today. I've been meditating so much on going beyond the veils. I don't even think I call it going beyond the veils. They're just are the veils are just dancing most of the time, and even though I can talk about serious things, like sometimes I'm just laughing, or you just see through things, or see through the patterns, and you can go deep. And it's so funny because somebody told me it's quite confusing. It's like, Jay, you don't even do drugs or anything. And I'm like, yeah, the art is my drugs, just like Salvador Dali. Playing guitar gets me high. It like, there's so many things that if I look at something, I can go deep within it, physical appearance or scientific construct, and just be amazed. And is that just a normal thing in the wake up call? And I don't even know if that makes sense, because when you say you wake up, the sentence is like it only happened that time. I think it's a constant flow of wake walking, I like to say. I feel like my dreams can be my reality. Even that, something you can't talk about all the time. So let me just say gratitude to my friends that fully get me, whether you call me a digital hologram or you call me spiritual goo friend, or yeah. Well, there's 222. So I'll leave it at that. This has been a vulnerability microphone test where I'm just randomly popping on, and this is exactly where I was at. And no apologies for my humanness. Have a beautiful day. I think I have figured this out. Just hope that the sound works when I turn this off. Oh yes, and the other section of forgiveness, writing that song, I'll play you out to it, was that, you know, it's like chanting all those times you were sad and that no one was around. And you thought you would have someone, and then it was just you. And yet, in channeling that into a song, can't even count, I've had many people break down and cry next to me and say, I don't know why I'm crying, and apologizing that they are crying. And usually ends up in a hug, something like that. And I say, yeah, man, I wrote this song about forgiveness. You're surrendering. There's nothing left. No mirrors or reflections but you. The solid truth. The guttural noises. The depths of your darkness. And the hopefulness of getting up again. And that's why the second part of the song, I called it the desert song. Because then, after you've realized no one is there to save you or comfort you, or they may for some time, but they'll go find something else or someone else to be with. You know, there's a story and a possible trauma in that. So the second part of the song was what it's like to be in the desert alone, in the beating sun, with no one around but you and the earth and the sky, and maybe galloping wild horses plopping through the dunes. And I channeled that into sound. And first time I performed that at Samadhi Tea House, I got a really nice ovation from the people there, and one of the tea house owners, I was quite amazed. She came up to me and said, "You know what I saw when you played that song? I saw a white desert and endless dunes and sand, and moving through all the sandstorms and the clouds in some serene state." And again, I'm like, how could I? I mean, my response was I was shocked. I'm like, you just pulled that out of like the painting I made, the audio painting. And so I'm always amazed by when we can channel, sculpt with sound. And yeah, I was thinking, I don't want to write too many sad songs, right? Or but I feel like there was a lot of catharsis for me, and in the reflection of people telling me what the song brought up for them. It was really speechless. I was really amazed because there are no lyrics to this song. It's just purely instrumental. So I guess I'll play out with that song. Maybe this is what I'll do. A little story time, like as to why I wrote the song. Peace, love, and truth, everybody. for the stream, so hopefully the microphone went well. And the main thing to test here was that my stream didn't drop in its connection. So thanks again, everyone. Much love and healing to you all.
Vibration of the One.